In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we use email automations to vet high-quality candidates and weed out those who just aren't qualified so that you and your team don't waste a lot of time filtering through resumes and candidates that just aren't qualified for the position. And after that, we're going to jump right into a step-by-step of how to set up these automations for yourself. So stick with me here on this channel because I am Christian. We're Real Estate Investing Made Easy, and it's time to make it easy. Let's get into it. And all of this is part of the employee hiring system made easy for virtual assistants, where yes, you can actually work less and profit more. There will be action items at the end of this, so stay tuned for that because all of this education is just entertainment if you do nothing with it. And one more thing, congrats if you're looking to hire people, because that is the one thing that you can do to expedite the growth and scale of your business. When it comes to vetting candidates, this is so critical because we can leverage technology to do some of the heavy lifting. Always ask as you seek to scale your business, can I leverage other people or technology? And if you're not into tech, leverage someone who is, because then you'll have both within your reach. And that is to say that in this instance, part of this system for how to vet candidates via email, we're doing both. We have somebody in particular we've hired, which we recommend that you hire an executive assistant to do this initial job post and the vetting, and using these email vetting sequences and the scheduling question sets that we'll get into next, which are critical also for vetting. But we're leveraging the technology to make her job easier. And that's what we recommend for you. And we also know and realize that you as an entrepreneur might not have an executive assistant, and doing this stuff might just be you. So stick with us because we're going to continue to learn. And speaking of which, what we've learned so far in 10 seconds or less, because these email automations we're going to share presupposes that you've completed what we've covered so far. Here's what you should know. We've talked about how to create a job ad that attracts the right candidates and how to post those job ads the right way. And yes, there is a right way to do it. So let's just go ahead and talk about the prep work for these email automations and what to craft ahead of time. Then we'll get into actually showing you some of these examples within our own business. So what you'll need for these automations, this is what the templates will look like. You need an initial template for an email that's going to go out, and it's got to be unique to each role that will automatically respond to candidates who applied. And then templates for various canned responses depending on what the candidates actually reply with. Those are going to be manually sent, but it's quick access to the same verbiage for the same role over and over again. And we're going to dive in right now to the computer and we're going to show you exactly what I'm talking about to give you an overview of that process. So diving in here, it's going to be easier to put context to this when we share with you the journey where they are at right now once they reply to an email. Let's just take this particular one right now. Doesn't matter what the job role is. We've asked them to please read it all the way through, and then we've asked them how to apply to follow these instructions, right? To say literally, your search is over, I am your assistant video editor. So we happen to be scaling our video production team to several other individuals, and we want them to say this exact phrase. The exact phrase for a cold caller can be the same once they've read this job post, and I'll give you a snapshot of another one where we're doing the same thing. So for example, ClickFunnels 2.0 specialist, we were on ClickFunnels 1.0 and they made a change and it's really challenged. So we need some help with that. We want to do the same thing. Please compose a separate email. Make sure this comes from your own email. And then the subject line should be exactly, I am your ClickFunnels specialist. So we want to see also capitalization and all that stuff. And the purpose for this is so that when they send exactly this in the subject line, it's going to trigger this email to go out as what's called a canned response. And we'll show you what we're talking about right now. So for our email address, we've put team+canned.response@reime.us. I'll show you how to set that up a little bit later. You're going to want to stick around for that. This is kind of what it looks like. So we'll tag them in a way that makes sense. And this is the automatic response that goes out. So it says, thank you so much for your interest in the real estate phone acquisitions role. We're excited. And we just let them know that we have a lot of interest in the position. And this is an automated email. We simply wanted to thank you for your patience. And that's true too, because if you looked at some of these job postings, the interest that we got, where it looks over here and says hits, 1,008, 262. The reason for 14 applicants, it wasn't that only 14 applicants applied. These are 14 applicants that applied incorrectly. So the other people followed the instructions and they hit up the email. Now, this is in an older account, by the way, because we switched it over to specifically go to our virtual assistant's email address and then set up an applicants@reime.us alias for her. So she's the one managing this process instead of managing it within our team account. But that's an example of the canned response that you should have for any of the roles. Now, of course, you're going to make them unique. You want to set your hours of operation depending on when you're going to be able to respond, set what the role is, and just cater this to whatever makes sense for you. And just so you know, we do have at www.howtohirevirtualassistants.com all of this stuff done for you. If you're like, yeah, this sounds great, but I need to hire based off of your system, I believe you, I want to follow it. 4 people and a 5th bonus one that we'll talk about at the end of this course, which you're not going to want to miss. That there's a lot here because we're talking about these email vetting sequences, these templates, other templated responses, and then in addition to that, we're talking about the scheduling question sets and a lot of other things to consider just to make this hiring system a success. So it's a done for you thing. You can get those where we try to teach you how to fish, and then when you're ready to fish because you know what you're doing, you can buy your rod and reel. So this is a template that we created already that automatically goes out based off of the subject. Now, the other template is not automatic. We're going to manually send it out, but it's going to make our life a lot easier. So when we get to a point where we're ready to reply to this person and they say they're interested in the position, then we'll have a couple things to send to them. And then all you need to do is go here and then go to templates and you can load up a specific template. So for this instance, it's going to be the REI phone, one of these two here, and then it'll take it out here. So here you go. Thank you so much for your interest in the position with us and our sister company. This position is here. We asked them to send 3 specific responses to 3 specific questions. And then just make sure, by the way, that if you're sending that out and you have a signature, you want to remove the duplicate signature because it will put it in there if you saved it like that, which we did. And then you would just send it to them. Now, I'm not going to send this because there's no need to, but ultimately, that is one of the templates for various responses depending on the candidate's reply. And then there's also the dispositions letters and the offer letters that we have unique to each role that we'll send right away. So that if we want to hire somebody, we can just shoot that over to them. And if we don't want to hire somebody, but they might be a good fit for a future position, we have a separate disposition letter for that we ask if they're still interested in the future, should we reach out to them to schedule kind of a third cursory interview. And all of those are already preset. And the value behind that is it expedites this. So if you're scaling and growing, what you'll find as you begin to hire these individuals using this system, the employee hiring system made easy, the virtual assistants edition or otherwise, because we have an in-house and we also have a team building one where it's about building relationships with realtors and that. You're going to find that maybe in the beginning, you don't have a huge need for like 40 different responses that are canned and categorized. But once you start hiring a lot of people, we have over 50 people on our team, which, for our purposes, it makes sense. Then you're going to want to have these things that go out, even as responses for real estate agents and relationships, like in our on-market offer system, the way that we conduct that via email and via mail meteor templates and stuff. It's really the same process. We have a lot of canned responses and templates. So getting to know how to do this is really important. It's going to help grow and scale your real estate investing business. There was something else I wanted to share with you that you're definitely going to want to check out. And this is what I wanted to share, the free business growth resource, the 5 must implement real estate investing tools for business scale. It's a 5,000-foot overview of every system in our business that we use to generate high-quality motivated seller leads to grow and scale our business, as well as the systems that we use for this virtual assistant hiring system. So you want to check that out at reime.us. It's completely free to download. And our action items, next step is to create your email vetting sequences. Keep in mind that there's 2 different types. One that's a canned response, that's a template that will automatically go out. And that should be role specific depending on who you're going to hire. I would recommend you do that for the 4 key positions that we've talked about in this series. And if you've already purchased the actual deliverables right, where we teach you how to fish. If you purchase the rod and reel already, then just go ahead and customize those sequence templates for vetting and get those ready to go. If you wanted to purchase it, but you haven't yet, or you're just interested in checking it out, you can go to howtohirevirtualassistants.com. Now, the next training is exactly how to craft and create those automations. So we're gonna cover that right now in this next video, where we're gonna make it easy. That's what time it is right now. So click that video and we'll see you there.